Sir, they have to light the lamp. आप आ जाओ. Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, former Judges of the Supreme Court, I think learned Attorney General is also coming, learned Solicitor General of India, Shri Tushar Mehta, all the learned additional Solicitor Generals, our President, Shri Vikas Singh, our Vice President, Shri Pradeep Rai, Vice President, Dr. Joseph Aristotle, Secretary of the SCORA, other office bearers of SCBA and SCORA, senior advocates, my fellow colleagues at the bar, officials of the registry, friends from the media, everyone who is watching us online through our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the Constitution Day function of the Supreme Court Bar Association. May I now request Mr. Vikas Singh, President, SCBA, and Mr. Pradeep Kumar Rai, Vice President, SCBA, to kindly escort Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Ramana, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, and Mr. K.K. Venugopal, learned Attorney General for India, for the lighting of the lamp, and then escort them to the dais. Attorney General? May I request Mr. Vikas Singh ji and Mr. Pradeep Rai ji to kindly escort Honorable the Chief Justice of India to the dais. May I request you all to kindly stand up for the national anthem. नहीं अभी नहीं आए जैसे आएंगे वैसे सोलिसिटर जनरल आए तो आ ही रहे
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा
request Mr. Anupam Mishra, Member Executive, to present a bouquet of flowers to Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Ramana, Honorable the Chief Justice of India. Chief साहब क्या कोई फोन करके उनके पता कर दीजिए वेणु को पता हाँ May I now request our Vice President, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Rai, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Honorable Justice N.V. Ramana, the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice Uday Lalit, Honorable Justice Khanwilkar, Honorable Justice Chandrachud, Honorable Justice Gawai, Honorable Justice Krishna Murari ji, Honorable Justice Ravind Bhatt sir, Honorable Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul sir, Honorable Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, Mr. Vikas Singh, our President, P.H. Parekh, 6-time President of Supreme Court Bar Association, Office Bearers of SCORA, Manoj Mishra, Vice President and Aristotle Secretary, Ardhendu Mauli, Secretary, Supreme Court Bar Association, and Executive Committee members of SCBA and SCORA. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had the following words to say after the adoption of new Constitution of India. I feel that the Constitution is workable, it is flexible, and it is strong enough to hold the country together both in peacetime and in wartime. Indeed, if I may say so, if things go wrong under the new Constitution, the reason will not be that we had a bad Constitution. What we will have to say is that man was vile. 72 years ago, when this Constitution was, we had given this Constitution, gifted this Constitution to ourselves, Supreme Court Bar Association those days started celebrating in a small time, but thereafter in 1979, we had started celebrating Law Day in a great way in the same lawns. And this was the only organization which used to celebrate Law Day. Gradually, in 2015, Government of India started celebrating this moment. And in 2016, Supreme Court of India also started celebrating this. Initially, it was our function. We are happy that Government of India and Supreme Court of India both have adopted this, and they have started celebrating this occasion. Honorable Justice Lalit told someday that now bar people, they need invites in those functions. I request that whenever there is a function from the Government of India, some officials are here, at least a good number of cards should be given to Supreme Court Bar Association so that we can attend those functions. And even in NALSA programs, what we are receiving the cards, but we need at least a proper representation in those functions. Every human being is not equal. Somebody is rich, somebody is poor, somebody is very learned, somebody is not that well educated, somebody may have great brain, somebody may not have that much, but at least there is one place where there is equality. That is equality before law. And our framers of the Constitution has decided, has framed the law, had gifted the thing in the way that we all actually get benefited with it, and every citizen has the right of equality. This is the occasion when we say that whatever happened in Germany during Hitler, that was legal. And whatever happened in the freedom struggle in India, that was illegal. That is the question of perspective. But at the end of the day, if there is a supremacy of Constitution and rule of law is there, then that country is independent, that country is democratic, that country is actually following the true values of Constitution and governance. My Lord Justice Ramana has delivered several judgments. Almost each one of honorable judges has delivered, But what we see that even this COVID time, that kitchen theory, kitchen concept, that government is duty bound to feed each and every citizen. They should not die because of hunger. Even in Lakhimpur Kheri case, my Lord has entertained a letter petition in which my Lord directed that the state should have the proper investigation in the matter and appointed a retired judge to investigate the matters. Similarly, several other matters that is enough to establish the supremacy of our constitution. This is not the occasion, we have lesser time, but my Lord, when my Lord has taken over as the Chief Justice of India, I had requested my Lord that many members of the bar wants to have mediation training. My Lord readily agreed. And today, whoever has applied till 7th of November, they all have got opportunity for the mediation training, thanks to Honorable Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul sir and Honorable Justice Uday Lalit sir. This is a rare occasion when Honorable Supreme Court of India is extending us all kind of help to the bar members in the interest of justice. Mediation is also a very important area in which we should have been earlier also get the training, but now their occasion has come when we all are getting this properly, training and all. Law exists in every cell of life. It affects everyone. All the time, the government governs everything in life, even from embryo to exhumation to breathe or water, ship, war, peace, everywhere law is important. So the celebration of Law Day is actually, it has to be there, and that is the time when we pay respect to the framers of law. At the same time, we also remember and pay respect that who has drafted the law without any flaw and faults. So this is the great occasion, my Lord, that I welcome each one of you, each one of the members of our bar who has come here, even registry officials, our SCBA staff, who has extended all kind of help to participate in such a large gathering, and media and members of our bar shows the interest of our members in this kind of programs. One thing we must remember, that law, nobody is above law, and it should not go in anybody's head that somebody is more than that. So equality before law is important, and this court is protecting the Constitution, this court is protecting the liberty, this court is protecting the equality before law, and everything, whatever they are doing, this country is grateful as an institution to the Supreme Court of India. Thank you so much to everyone who has participated.
Thank you, sir. May I now request the Solicitor General of India, Shri Tushar Mehta, to kindly come on dais. It seems the learned Attorney General is unable to come. If I may request the learned Solicitor General, Shri Tushar Mehta. He's not coming. May I now request Mr. Vikas Singh, President SCBA, to kindly deliver his address.
Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Judges of this court present here today, Honorable retired judges of this court present here today, members of SCORA, members of my executive committee, my colleagues at the bar, persons from the media, and friends. Constitution Day has been named for the first time in 2015. This day was the day when we adopted, this constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on the 26th of November 1949. And the effective date of the constitution was the 26th of January 1950, which is Republic Day. We celebrate the formation of the Republic on that day. For 30 long years, this day was not celebrated, but the Supreme Court Bar Association started celebrating this day as a law day from 1979. And 2015, being the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the Honorable Prime Minister of India decided to dedicate this day as the Constitution Day and started a year-long celebration in that year. And I'm very happy to note that now, of course, it's a pressure on the Honorable Chief Justice of India to grace both these occasions because he has to be there as well, along with the Honorable Prime Minister and the President of India, and has to come here as well because this is the founding of this celebration of this day. But I'm happy that this day is being celebrated separately by the SCBA as well as by the Government of India. Of course, Government of India with its wherewithal has a much better and a bigger infrastructure to do this. And we, of course, do it in the traditional way in this lawn, where we honor our members who have completed 50 years in the bar. And we also honor our members who have written books in this year by giving them a citation from the hands of the Honorable Chief Justice of India, which our members cherish because it's a very important day for them for being recognized for having written a book on law or sometimes even on something which may not be laws technically, like Mr. Ijaz Maqbool has written a book on humor, and which also, of course, is humor in law, and which will also be celebrated today by acknowledging that particular book. Constitution is an instrument of change. It has to keep evolving with time, and we have had 105 amendments to the Constitution only to evolve with the passage of time, because ultimately whatever the Constitution was decided to be in 1949 cannot remain so in view of the change of the society and the way the society has evolved. One very important change, of course, I'll talk about this in the evening as well, which is required is that lawbreakers should not be lawmakers. And we feel that a time has come because when the Constitution was drafted, a solemn hope was expressed by the Constitution makers that the society will throw up the best of the society to man the parliament who will make the laws. But unfortunately, the statistics prove otherwise. And that is something which is a very important area of concern, which we should all deliberate on this Constitution Day as to whether we had intended that what was 23% in 2004 of people charged with serious crimes have now swelled to 43% of the parliament today. So whether that was what the Constitution makers had thought of at the time of drafting this Constitution. I feel that judiciary is the institution which will deliver to the people of this country the constitutional guarantees, the constitutional rights. And accordingly, judiciary plays a very, very important role as an interface between the people and the Constitution to ensure that the people get their rights as enshrined in the Constitution. And accordingly, we all, being a part of this institution, have a very solemn duty to introspect on this Constitution Day as to what all is being done, what all can be done, and what all we should do better than what we've been doing so far. So I close my address for today with these thoughts, and all of us need to introspect to ensure that the Constitution remains that's of the same relevance for which it was drafted for the people of this country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I shall now read the Law Day Charter, which says, "We hold that law is the common heritage and trust of mankind, that administration of justice is one of the fundamental functions of the state, and that judges and lawyers owe their allegiance by the traditions, training, and tenets of their noble profession to the cause and quest of justice. We believe that the discipline of law is indispensably essential for the authoritative and peaceful resolution of all conflicts, for ensuring the orderly development of society, for maintaining the rule of law, for promoting social justice, for safeguarding liberty, and for protecting basic human rights and fundamental freedoms. We affirm that the independence and impartiality of the judiciary and the freedom and independence of the legal profession constitute the sheet anchor of social order, individual freedom, and equal justice in our society. We acknowledge the social responsibilities and the professional obligations of law in public interest and public service. We emphasize, in particular, the need to ensure equal and universal access of the people to the system of justice, especially to the poor, the weak, the deprived, and the downtrodden, the need for legal literacy and legal aid, and the need for social audit and evaluation of laws, and for scientific, rational, and pragmatic law reform. We pledge and dedicate ourselves on this, the Constitution Day, to the premises and postulates of this proclamation. May I now request the learned Solicitor General of India, Shri Tushar Mehta, to kindly say a few words, sir.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of India, the Honorable Judges, the real custodians of the Constitution, my friend Mr. Vikas Singh, Mr. Rai, Ardendu Mauli Prasad, and all my seniors and colleagues. I say few words on behalf of my senior, the learned Attorney General for India. He seems to have not been able to come because of some issues, health issues, nothing major. Friends, we are celebrating today to be the Constitution Day. So long as normal circumstances prevail in our life, we would not realize the importance and significance of there being a constitution, there being a written constitution, there being a robust constitution, and there being a constitution having inbuilt checks and balances. When a common man feels injustice and moves corridors of this court or any court, and the court takes cognizance, he realizes the significance of the Constitution. When he feels some law regulates some conduct of human behavior and the Parliament makes the law, he understands the significance of a written Constitution. When a huge tragedy engulfs the nation, like the recent tragedy, and the government takes steps shoulder to shoulder across party lines, all state governments acting in tandem with the central government, a common man feels the significance and importance of there being a written constitution, but more particularly, which we usually forget, when we look around the neighboring countries either having constitution or not having constitution, and when we find that constitution is merely a printed document and not a vibrant living being, we feel more proud of our constitution. When we see governments crawling before the army despite having a constitution, we feel proud. We feel proud that our constitution has three organs dependent on each other while at the same time completely independent of each other and discharging their respective responsibilities. I have nothing more to add. We are yet to listen to my Lord the Honorable Chief Justice of India. I am conveying my wishes on behalf of the Government of India and on behalf of the learned Attorney General for India and on my behalf. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Ramana, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, to kindly deliver his address.
My dear brother and sister judges, learned Solicitor General Mr. Tushar Mehta, Brother Justice Kurian Joseph, Vikas Singh, the President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Pradeep Kumar Rai, and Ardendra Mauli Prasad, office bearers of the SCBA and SCORA, law officers, senior advocates, other distinguished guests, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, before coming here, Mr. Vikas Singh assured me that there is no speeches, only giving certificates and felicitating the senior counsel. Now he forced me to talk something. Just like senior counsel Tushar Mehta, I cannot, without paper, give any minutes of time of speech because he can talk anything, no problem. But if I talk one word, excess, my media friends or otherwise, all of you may interpret in different ways. For the sake of clarity, better I must stick to my written speech. Good afternoon to everyone. Today is the day, 72 years back, we have taken the Constitution into our hands and dedicated to the nation. We adopted it. I pay my humble tributes to these great personalities, freedom fighters who sacrificed their life for the sake of this country's freedom, and also the great eminent lawyers who sacrificed everything and led the national movement, and also participated in the Constituent Assembly debates and made a wonderful document of the 20th century. I am happy to be a part of this legal fraternity because you know that starting from Mahatma Gandhi, Nehru, Sardar Patel, Ambedkar, Rajpat Rai, all great luminaries who are belongs to this legal profession, either they participated in the freedom struggle or otherwise the members of the draft Constituent Assembly. And we are all successors and inherited their legacy. While celebrating this day, paying homage to our freedom fighters, I think it is also important for all of us to celebrate the citizenry of independent India. It is their actions over the 7 decades, the litigants, lawyers, judges, legislators, business persons, farmers, workers, and many more, that has breathed life into what might otherwise have been just another bare document. The Constitution of today, built upon the foundation laid by the framers, is a richer and more complex document than what it was when it was adopted in 1949. This is a result of the dialogue that took place both inside and outside the courtroom, resulting in novel and unique interpretations. Perhaps the most important feature of the Indian Constitution is the fact it provides framework for debate. It is through such debate and discussions that the nation ultimately progresses, evolves, and achieves higher levels of welfare for the people. The most direct and visible players in this process are, of course, lawyers and judges of this country. I would therefore like to request all of you to keep this dual significance and role in mind, who created the vision of document of this nation and are also direct participants in the redefining of that vision. As people with intimate knowledge of the Constitution and the laws, it is also your responsibility to educate the rest of the citizenry about the role that they play in society. The history, present, and the future of this nation lie on your shoulders. This is heavy, if not heaviest, burden to bear. This profession is called a noble profession for a reason. It demands expertise, experience, and commitment like any other profession. But in addition to the above, it also requires integrity, knowledge of social issues, social responsibility, and civic virtue. You must be leaders and mentors in society. Take an active role in lending your hand to those in need. Take up cases of pro bono whenever possible. Be worthy of confidence reposed in you by the public. I am extremely happy to be felicitating respected senior members of the bar today, Sri Ramesh P. Bhatt, Sri APS Ahluwalia, Sri Satya Prakash Singh, Sri Muhammad Jad Chaudhary, Sri Krishna Prasad. 50 years in the profession is not a small feat, and I would like to commend for your profession and passion for this law, and to thank you for the service you have rendered to society and to the courts. You are role models for everyone in the profession, particularly the young advocates. At this juncture, I would like to give a message to the young members of the bar. Please respect and pay due regards to your seniors. They have immense experience, knowledge, and wisdom, which no amount of book learning can provide. Learn from their example and keep the flag of the legal profession flying high. I also congratulate all the members of the Bar Association who are receiving certificates for writing and publishing books. Knowledge and information are extremely important. They are even more precious in the legal profession. Researching a topic, gaining in depth of knowledge of the same, and sharing it with the world is therefore a great service that you are providing to the legal community and the public. Additionally, I know how hard it is to sit and write, and to write a book while practicing must have been extremely difficult. I applaud you for your hard work and dedication and look forward to reading your works. Lastly, I want to tell all of you that you must assist the judges and the institution. We are all ultimately part of one larger family. Protect the institution from motivated and targeted attacks. Don't shy away from standing up for what is right and against what is wrong. I end my speech by the quote of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Men are mortal, so are ideas. An idea needs propagation as much as a plant needs water. Otherwise, both will wither and die. Unquote. On this Constitutional Day, let us pledge to propagate the ideas that from the basis of the Constitution, freedom, equality, and justice in all its facets for all people. I expect all you to guide the nation to an upright future. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, my lord. It has been a long-standing tradition of our association to honor our members who have completed the 50 years at the bar. May I now request Honorable the Chief Justice of India to kindly present a shawl to members as a token of respect. Mr. Ramesh P. Bhatt, Senior Advocate. Mr. APS Aluwalia, Senior Advocate. Mr. Satya Prakash Singh, Senior Advocate. Mr. Mohammad Zunu Narayan Chaudhary, Advocate, and Mr. Krishna Prasad, Advocate. He has authored a book. जल्दी जल्दी देते जाइए प्लीज सब आप आगे खड़े रहिए बाकी की शॉट May I now request Honorable the Chief Justice of India to honor the members of the bar who have written books by presenting the certificate of honor. Mr. R. Venkat Ramani, Senior Advocate. I've been told he's not here. Mr. Praveen H. Parekh, Senior Advocate, for his book titled Soli J. Sorabji, In and Out of the Law, 2021 edition. Ms. Mahalakshmi Pavni, Senior Advocate, for her book Parmeswara to PP. I think Ms. Mahalakshmi Pavni is not here. Professor Deepak Bhattacharya, on his book Vidar PIL, Case Study of a South Delhi Colony, Chittaranjan Park. Mr. Deepak Bhattacharya. Dr. K.S. Chauhan. For his book Citizenship, Rights and Constitutional Limitations. Dr. Janak Raj Jai, for his book From Shah Bano to Shaira Bano. Professor Deepak Bhattacharya. Then Engineer L.K. Thakur for his book All About Entrepreneurship. Mr. Ijaz Maqbool for his book Law, Humor and Urdu Poetry, 2021 edition. Mr. L.K. Thakur, please come. Mr. Ijaz Maqbool. Mr. Raj Kumar Gupta for his book Ramnath Kovind, President of India. Mr. Rajkumar Gupta for his book Ramnath Kovind, President of India. Dr. Jay Prakash Gupta for his book Fifth Schedule to the Constitution. Mr. Onkar Prasad for his book The Commercial Courts Act 2015. Mr. Onkar Prasad. Sir, please come. Dr. Nishesh Sharma for his book Competition Law. Mr. H.L. Kumar for his book Digest of Employees Provident Fund Acts and Schemes. Mr. Gaurav Kumar for his book Practical Guide to Members of Internal Complaint Committee under Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act. Mr. H.L. Kumar. Mr. Gaurav Kumar. Mr. Vivek Narayan Sharma on his book Electionomics. Mr. Vivek Narayan Sharma. Honorable Chief has to go, please come fast. Ms. Bhakti Pasrija for his book 16 Beams for a Wonderful Life. Mr. Prasoon Kumar Mishra for his book Advocacy and Professional Ethics. Mr. Brij Mohan Bharti for his book World's Action, My Reaction. Dr. Karnika Seth on a book Media Trial, Fake News and Electronic Evidence. Mr. Jose Abraham on his book Minority Rights. Mr. Virag Gupta for his book The Food Safety and Standards Act 2006. Please come fast, all of you. Mr. Vinod Chauhan for his book Female Feticide, A Story of India's Missing Women. Mr. Mukesh Bhutani for his book Transfer Pricing, the Indian Landscape, 2 Decades On. Mr. Tarun Jain, who is also the co-author of the book on general anti-avoidance rules. Mr. G. Natarajan for his book, The Supreme Court and Its Ever-Living Judges. Ms. Anvesha Deb for her book, Key to Juvenile Justice System. Mr. Abhishek Vinod Deshmukh for his book, Madhya Pradesh Chhattisgarh Madhyastham Adhikaran Adhiniyam 1983 Law and Practice. Ms. Jessie Kurian for her book, Women's Laws and Judicial Pronouncements. Dr. Ashish Kumar Kulshrestha for his book, A Practical Approach on Criminal Justice System in Response to Sexual Offences Against Women in India. Dr. Rakesh Gupta for his book, Taxation of Real Estate Developers and Joint Development Arrangements with Accounting Aspects. Dr. Pavan Duggal for his book, Digital Transformation and Cyber Law. Mr. Aniruddha Vadhva for his book, Guide to the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Mr. Somesh Arora for his book, Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. Mr. Harpreet Singh Sandhu for his book, Sadda Sona Punjab. And Mr. Saurabh Bindal for his book, Arbitration and Conciliation Edition First, an MCQ on Intellectual Property Law. Rahul Khan. Mr. T.N. Durga Prasad. Where is Mr. Durga Prasad? Who's there? Where is he? You should have asked him to be here. Where is he? Has he come, Mr. Durga Prasad? May I now request our Joint Secretary, Mr. Rahul Kaushik, to propose the vote of thanks.
On behalf of Supreme Court Bar Association, we are extremely grateful to Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Ramana, Chief Justice of India, for presiding the function. We are extremely thankful to all the Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, Justice Lalit, Justice Khanwilkar, Justice Chanchud, Justice Nageshwar Rao, Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Justice Ravinder Bhatt, Justice Gawai, Justice Ajay Rastogi, Justice Suryakant, Justice Bopanna, Justice Anirudh Bose, Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, and all the new judges. Justice Ravi Kumar is there all first function here. Justice Sundaresh, Justice Oka, Justice Hema Kohli, Justice Narsimha, Justice Vikram Nath. We also wish to thank Mr. Tushar Mehta, Learned Solicitor General of India, other law officers, senior advocates. I can see Mr. Parekh, former president, Mr. R.P. Bhatt, Mr. Brijendra Chahar, Mrs. Sonia Mathur, Mr. Dinesh Goswami, Mr. S.P. Singh, Mr. Vikas Pava, Mr. Arijit Prasad, and all others members of the bar for being part of this function. We would also like to thank the officials of the registry, Mr. V.K. Bansal, Secretary General, Mr. Rajesh Goyal, and all others officials for their cooperation for this function. We also wish to thank office bearers of SCORA, Mr. Manoj Mishra, Mr. Aristotle, Diksha Rai, Joint Secretary, everyone is here. And yes, Justice Korean Joseph, former judge of the Supreme Court, is here. We wish to thank him also, sir. Good to see you after a long time here, sir. Yes, and Justice Hema Kohli, I'm sorry I missed. We also wish to thank members of the press for covering this function. Thank you, everyone. And I wish everyone a very happy Constitution Day. Kindly join us for tea. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Someone else left?
Because as a special gesture, one of our members' son has made a portrait, and my Lord the Chief Justice has agreed to have it. Mr. Apurv Om. He has made a portrait of Honorable the Chief Justice of India. National anthem के लिए बोल दो. May I request all of you to kindly stand up for the national anthem?
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
May I now request all of you to kindly join us for the high tea. I request all the EC members of the SCBA to be here on the dais for a photograph with Honorable the Chief Justice of India. May I also request the Secretary General, Mr. V.K. Bansal, to be here. चेयर हटवाइए ना। फोटो खिंचाने का शौक नहीं था। चलिए चलिए चलिए।